Hello, everybody. It is Barb Techel of joyfulpaws.com. So, this is the Animal Oracle Guidance reading for the month of July. And we, of course, are in the energy of Cancer, which is all about the emotional realm. So, this month is a great month to try and take some more time and focus on nurturing yourself. Where in your life do you need more nurturing? Do you need more comforting? And I think a big part of that is working with our central nervous system, to bring us more to a grounded, centered place. So this is a great month to take a look at that. Astrologically, I'm not an astrologer, but I do follow a couple different astrologers. And the big theme that I took away for this month of July that we're being invited to look at is the energy of leadership and exploring that within our own lives. What area of your life do you think perhaps, that you felt challenged by? And maybe this is a call to step into your own leadership in that area of what feels right for you, not necessarily what somebody else is saying or the outside world says, but stepping into the leadership role for yourself within that area of your life. So, yeah, we are being the energy for this month. We are looking at, what thought patterns that are stagnant, that no longer serve us, what limiting beliefs perhaps that we have that we're feeling those are feeling challenged, that maybe, we had this belief that now we're realizing maybe that wasn't my belief, but I bought into that as a cultural or a societal thing. And just exploring those things and, looking at where does that come from? Where is the core of that? And how, if that's not fitting for you anymore, what do I need to do to change that? And how can I change that? And one of the things one of the astrologers said that I really liked is we are in charge of our own thinking, right? And our thinking can get us in a lot of trouble sometimes, and we can go down these maddening, crazy rabbit holes, right? And so because we are in charge of our own thinking, I'm looking at my notes here. I really loved what she said. When we are in these crazy loop patterns, these negative ways of thinking, or these fear based thinking, what is it you want to energize in your thinking pattern? I just feel how uplifting that is. Because when we're in those negative fear based thinking patterns, that really pulls us down. And that is just not. That is not a fun place to be, right? I mean, we can feel that. We can feel how heavy that is when we're in that place or that space. So this month is really a great call for us to pay attention to that and to ask ourselves, I want to be in charge of my own thinking, and I want to bring in as many happy, joyful, blissful, loving, peaceful, energizing thoughts that I can, and start to let go of these patterns that are in place for probably a bunch of different reasons that they show up in our lives. So, yeah, I think that is it for the notes. So, based on the energies for the month, I came up with two questions that I posed to the cards. And then I also am going to pull a third. Well, I already pulled the cards. I have a third card as a possible outcome based on the two questions that I'm going to work with for you. And then also I have an animal wisdom card that's going to go with the reading today. And just have to say, I love the possible outcome. And I think you're going to really be excited about it too. So the first question I ask the cards is, how do we clear out stagnant thoughts and belief systems and then welcome in new belief systems? How do we begin to empower our thinking? And the card that I pulled, which is from the Wisdom of the Oracle, this is the mini version of this deck, is the Milk and Honey. And at first I was a little perplexed, like, okay, what does this mean? Because I'm looking at it as how do we clear out these negative thoughts, these stagnant thoughts, in order to bring in new energy and more empowered thinking. Well, this is the place we want to land, right? We want to land in milk and honey. Milk and honey is a sweet place to be. Milk and honey, when we can energize our thoughts, it just brings more magic into our lives. It brings more positivity in our lives. It brings more bliss into our lives. And that's what this card is all about. I mean, it's just an elephant for me represents that sweet little elephant swimming in the soup, just soup of milk, I should say. Elephant is all about loyalty. That's how I see elephant, and it's about being loyal to ourselves, being loyal to the way, to really paying attention, being in awareness of where our negative thought patterns can do, and taking the time to look at the root cause of that, and then taking time to correct that. Is it that's how we get rid of those negative and stagnant thoughts, and open ourselves to bringing in this refreshing change of thoughts that energize our life instead of bring us down. So the second question I asked the cards then is, how can we nurture and comfort that part of us that is afraid to change? So, when we're caught in this spiral of negative thinking, or we're caught in this challenge, it can feel like it's so much harder to get out of that. And then we stay stuck in that, right? Because there is a part of us that is sometimes afraid to change, because we don't know, we don't know a certain outcome from that, or we have an expectation around that. So, how can we nurture and comfort that part of us that does feel afraid? And a beautiful card is that I pulled was deep knowing. This is so beautiful to go with that question. So here we have this symbol that to me represents spirit, and whether that is God, source, spirit, however you define that higher power in your life. We've also got owl above spirit. And to me, owl is all about our higher self, and trusting in that wise, very, very wise part of ourselves that knows, that has this deep knowing that, yes, I deserve to have abundance in my life and love and joy and peace. And then above the owl, we have the moon. And the moon, of course, is all about the emotional realm, which we are in for the month of July with the Cancer energy as well. And it's just really being open to all the different emotions that are going to come up when we are afraid of change, and just, you know, being uncomfortable in those feelings and allowing them to pass, because they just want to be seen and acknowledged. So we have to nurture all aspects of ourself in that. And then again, trust this deep knowing. If you listen to spiritual messages, you are open to oracle readings, you definitely know there's a bigger power than us at play that is helping to guide our lives. So really deepen your trust in that as a place of comfort, as well as that higher wise part of yourself, that your soul knows what it's doing. Our ego personality just has to get out of the way and trust that our soul has set this up for our lives to learn new things and to give us new opportunities to get to this place of milk and honey. So, what is the possible outcome based on the two cards that I pulled and based on these questions of taking leadership for our own lives? And the card is Imagine. I was so excited when I pulled this card, because this is such a beautiful, inspiring card about taking leadership in our own lives. And just imagine, just sit for a moment and think, if I take leadership in this specific part of my life, imagine how you're going to feel versus to how, especially if it's feeling challenging right now. This is very heavy and weighs you down. But imagine if you can work through the emotional aspects of that, and you can clear that away. Just look at the sun rays, how it feels like it's going upward to me, but of course it's coming down, but it just makes you feel so much lighter in spirit, doesn't it? And then we've got the new moon on there, which new moon is all about setting new intentions. So this month, this is about, letting go of those negative uh, thought patterns, letting go of fear, and welcoming in how this will feel. Just imagine. I mean, if you just sit for a moment, maybe do like a 5-minute meditation after this, or however long you want to do one, and just take in that energy of imagine and how that will feel if you can clear out all that gunk, all that gunk that gets caught up in our system and gets caught up in our mind. Just drop down in the heart and just imagine how that can feel. So, the animal card to go along with this nurturing energy for the month of July and looking at and exploring leadership energy is horse and the message of empowerment. So, again, we are in charge of our own lives, we are in charge of our thinking. And I love that this card also has the new moon on it as well. And when we empower ourselves to be in charge of our own thinking and what our personal beliefs are, that is what lifts our vibration and definitely makes us feel much better being in this world that, yeah, quite frankly, is a little chaotic. It's pretty tough right now. There's a lot of very negative, very difficult things to look at that are going on in the world. But we have to take charge of our own thinking and our own little world, and not as a selfish thing, because I really believe if we each do our own work, we can help shift the energy of this planet, so we can start to hopefully see some of that chaotic, very tough things start to dissipate. I just want to say that I know that they're there. I'm aware of them. And I can too sometimes feel very helpless about what can I do? What can I do to make this world a better place? But I really believe by doing our own inner work, that is definitely going to help shift that in a positive way. So I hope that was helpful for the month of July. I hope you have a great month. And if you feel like it, you can leave a comment below. What area of your life are you going to start to take more leadership in? And maybe share a first step that you want to take. I know sometimes people are shy, but if you really want to put the intention out there into the universe and you want it to be seen, please feel free to leave a comment below. I would love, love, love to hear. My continued leadership in my own life is I know what it is. I'm just trying to think of how to say it. It really is about the inner work for me. Just continuing to be in that leadership of my own life when it comes to inner work, owning how I feel, and that what I contribute to the world is important. That's where I continue to take leadership. And yeah, all right. So that is the end of the video. I guess that's all I have to say today. And again, have a great month. And I will see you again in August. Take great care, everybody. Bye bye.